everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, or should I say tomorrow's video, because we're filming a day before and I will explain why in a second, but I am doing a full day of eating with no carbohydrates. I just feel hungry, like I just don't recommend it. I was starving. This is why you should not do no carbs, okay? What I'm trying to say is never cut out any macronutrients. Yes, no carbohydrates. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you how important carbohydrates are within your macros, your calories. If you are doing hybrid training, performance training, any kind of training, we're going to dive into it and see why it's so important. And also I want to see how it affects me. Now, I don't know how it's going to go. My diet is very highly fat focused anyway, but I do have carbohydrates pre and post training. So it'll be really interesting to see how I feel during my training session and after, and throughout the day, what my energy feels like. Anyway, let's go get this food shop because it's 6 o'clock. I need to be up at 5 because I'm gonna run at 6 along the seafront, and let's get into it. Hi everyone, good morning. I'm just having a black coffee. I got up a little bit late, I missed my alarm, but anyway, I'm just making meal one. So meal one is actually quite nice. I'm looking forward to it, and it's got some blueberries in it, so tiny bit of carbohydrate. So meal number one, pre-workout before my 10k run I have, which I'm going to actually drive to the seafront and run along the seafront, and then I'm going to take my post-workout meal with me, and then we're going to hit the gym and do my WODs. So I get an ISO clear in the morning, and then I have 2 eggs, blueberries, some olive oil. I don't really know how I feel about that. I might swap it for nuts, I think. And then I need to add 20 grams of nut butter. So that altogether is 664 calories. So it's actually quite a good amount of calories. Now, you do get fuel from fats, okay? I'm not saying that you only get fuel from carbs. I'm just going to talk later in the video why carbs are important around your training window for performance, and something to do with muscle breakdown and recovery. So I'll talk about that after the run, maybe on the way to the gym, and we've got to do 10k.
Okay, so I'm 7.4k in. Pace is 430, 440. Heart rate is 150, 155. This feels so much easier from when I was in Cyprus. Although it's hot today, the humidity isn't bad. So gonna finish this last 2.5k and then we're done.
Okay, that's the 10k done. I really enjoyed that, just running along the seafront. So I ran 5k one way and 5k back. I will leave my splits here on the screen for you to see, but I ran it in 45 minutes and my pace was 4:35, I think, from the top of my head. But that pace is quite easy for me. I've got quite a good endurance, and seeing as I didn't have many carbohydrates, I actually felt fine. The thing is, like, fats can provide you with enough energy. Obviously, carbohydrates do give you like faster release energy, and fats are more slower. So it's not like I didn't have energy to do it. I will talk more about this later, but it's when I go to hit the WODs and I haven't had any carbs, I probably will find that I won't have as much, strength and intensity to push for the workouts. But I don't know until we get there. It's only one day of me doing this, so my body actually might feel okay, but let's see what post-workout is. I did pack it, and then we're gonna head to the gym.
Okay, so post-workout is, I've written it down so that I don't forget what is exactly in it. I know I can see it, but I just need to, there's some ingredients that you won't be able to see. So soya yogurt, raspberries, almond butter, walnuts, olive oil again, which I actually mixed into the yogurt. So
This should be fine. And an ESN ISO Clear. So I will probably sip on this whilst I'm training my second session. And yeah, I packed it. This is post-workout. So this is 610 calories, protein 54, fats 44, and carbs is like 10 grams. And I think that comes from the raspberries. So not a lot because it's soya yogurt. It's not actually like Greek yogurt. So yeah, that's number 2.
Okay, home from the gym now. I made a bit of a mistake with food, and that's because I was supposed to have another snack before the second session, which I didn't realize. So I'm going to eat that, then go shower, and then have lunch, because lunch is around 967 calories and your girl's hungry. Okay, it doesn't look very appealing, does it? But this is the snack. I've just drank the olive oil off the spoon, people, because if I just drizzled it on here, I'd end up licking the plate. So this is egg, blueberries and almond butter. And then thank goodness after the shower I can eat again, because this is not going to touch the sides. Now, I felt okay during my training session. I think my transitions on my devil presses were a little slow. So I feel like I missed that burst of like energy before the WOD to maintain. So I feel good, but I just feel hungry. Like I feel like empty inside. So I don't know why, because fats are supposed to fill you up, but I feel hungry. So I don't feel dizzy, I don't feel tired. I am going to have another coffee because I've been a bit addicted to them since I've come back from Cyprus. So I normally only have one a day, but I've been having like 2, one iced coffee, one hot coffee in the morning. Okay, so I just showed you lunch. It's a lot of mackerel. A hell of a lot of mackerel. Asparagus, spinach, almonds, some lemon to drizzle for flavour. Very, very fishy. And olive oil. Again, I'm going to do a little cup at the end of the day of how much olive oil is in my veins, because I've had loads today. Oh! Olive just licked my face. No! She just licked the... She just licked the fish. I'm gonna have to try and change that. Okay, I've written down some bullet points for you to understand, and I am doing this way because I wanted to do loads of research on it, so that you're not just thinking that it's coming from my head. It's come from loads of other athletes, loads of research papers. So I've just bullet pointed what carbs actually do for you. So 1, fastest fuel for intense training. So like WODs, high intensity threshold sessions, like what I was doing in the gym today. They boost training capacity and prevent early fatigue. So as I said to you in the gym earlier when I was doing my devil presses, I did feel like I was getting a bit tired. And this, excuse me, probably could be because I hadn't had any carb source in me to give me that boost of energy, that what I'm used to. Okay, speed recovery by filling glycogen and lowering cortisol. So this is another very important thing for females especially. High cortisol in females can really affect your hormone levels. So it can take away your periods, it can make you gain weight, you can have bad skin. High cortisol levels are not good in females, and we want to try lower that. So having carbohydrates in your diet is going to help you recover quicker, lower cortisol levels. But also fats are very important for hormonal health. I know this is very confusing. Basically, what I'm trying to say is never cut out any macronutrient or micronutrient. And it also protects muscle mass and preps the body for your next session. Like I said, quicker recovery. So that is why carbs are very important. I actually feel fine today. I feel very full up because where fats are slower digesting, I feel fine in like terms of hunger. There was a lot of fish I had to eat earlier. So I don't feel depleted in the sense of where I'm tired. I don't feel like I don't have any energy, because I do have energy. Fats give you energy. Tomorrow I might feel a bit depleted in muscle mass, but it doesn't mean that my muscle mass has gone in one day. That's not going to happen. And I wouldn't be doing this video if that was the case. So I'm not putting my performance and my body under huge stress for a YouTube video. I just kind of wanted to do this so I could educate you on carbs, maybe just see how my body felt. And the only thing that I could feel during my training was that I wasn't able to keep the high intensity up as long as what I normally could. And you could probably see here my heart rate hills, they've dropped. They're not as steady as what they normally are. So maybe that was the effect of carbohydrates. I know some girls are really scared of eating carbs, but I'm telling you now, carbs, one, don't make you fat. Carbs, if anything, make you more muscular, make you filled with glycogen, okay, so you get that pump, energy, recover, and fuel. You will not train hard or CPBs if you are not eating any carbohydrates at all. So as you know, each gram of carbohydrate contains 4 calories per gram, basically, in carbohydrates, but it also contains water in each gram of carbohydrate. So you do hold more water the more carbs you eat. And I've trained my body to use carbs as its main fuel source around my training window, along with fats to drip feed for slow energy, so that when I'm not training, my body doesn't crave carbs as much, because 1, I'm not releasing as much energy, and 2, my body doesn't need the demand for it. So I keep my intake and my calories in by having high protein, high fat. I don't need a big bowl of oats before I go to bed, because I'm not utilizing that energy within the gym or like training. I'm going to sleep. So I am eating fats and protein to replenish and recover. And then I have all my carbs around my training window. So that is just something that I stick with. And I do believe that that is what helps me stay lean. Anyway, we have 2 more meals. We have a snack, which is, please don't be any more eggs. Yogurt. I'm actually looking forward to this one. Yogurt with almond butter, another almond butter, and chia seeds. Then we have salmon, cow, and almonds. I might try the almonds for another nuts. And then we've got an evening snack of avocado, hemp. I don't have hemp seeds. I could swap that for something else. Strawberries and walnuts. So, by the way, I'm aiming for 3,800 calories a day because I trained hard as anything. Okay, I had to Google this because I just cannot quench my thirst, and I feel like it's related to this diet. I said, can the Atkins diet cause dry mouth, right? Because I have such a dry mouth. So I spoke about this earlier with carb restriction leads to water loss. So obviously I'm not holding as much water. I don't think it's this because it's been one day, but I think it's what I'm about to speak about in a minute. So when you cut carbs, your body uses up stored glycogen, which is bound to water. As glycogen is depleted, it can lead to dehydration basically and a dry mouth. Then ketos increases fluid loss. So on the Atkins diet, especially in the early indication phase, you may enter a state of ketosis, which is right. This increases urination. I don't think I've been to the toilet more than often. And further contributing to dehydration and dry mouth. Now, this is what I think's affected me. Electrolyte imbalance. With water loss, you can also lose electrolytes like sodium and potassium. So you know I have electrolytes every single day from ESN. I have the cherry lollipop because that flavour is the only flavour I like and it bangs. Now, the electrolytes have 22 grams of carbs in. That's why I haven't had them today. You saw how much I was sweating on the run and in the gym. I'll leave some clips here for a reminder. But this can affect your hydration balance and contribute to a dry mouth. Okay, I have spoken about this previously, I'm sure, on my YouTubes and my Instagram when I ran out of electrolytes and I hadn't been having them. So, dehydration naturally leads to lower saliva production, causing a dry, sticky mouth, which I feel like I have. So, this is why you should not do no carbs, okay? Blah. Okay, dinner is looking very sad. It is salmon, olives, spinach. It was supposed to be more olive oil, but I can't have more olive oil. I think I've had around 100 milliliters of olive oil today in my veins. So I know I said I don't eat much cheese, but I needed something else and I didn't want more nuts or more almond butter. So we've gone for feta cheese, okay, Greek feta cheese. So this is, it doesn't look very appealing, does it? I mean, how am I supposed to make olive, salmon, feta and spinach appealing? Like, it is what it is. Okay, last meal of the day. Very weird looking, I have to say, but it is. Avocado, dark chocolate, raspberries and pecan nuts. Now, I probably will do a recap of how I feel like this day went with food tomorrow morning, because the lighting's not very good right now and I think I'll feel better, in a better mood when I've had a bowl of oats tomorrow. So let's revisit how I think the day went, what I think of this diet. I think you already know, and yeah, we'll touch on it tomorrow. But for now, I promise I won't sneak any sneaky carbs. I promise I've stuck to this diet throughout. I'm very dehydrated, I feel like, even though I've had litres and litres of water. But I'll catch you tomorrow morning for a recap why I eat avocado at 9 o'clock at night. Okay, it's the next day. Now, I'm telling you, when I woke up with the worst cramp in my calf and toe, it was unbearable. In the middle of the night and this morning, I actually woke Alex up because, you know, when it hits you and you're like, ah, and you grab it and you can't get rid of the pain, it was exactly like that. And I know this is down to lack of water, dehydration and lack of electrolytes in my system from yesterday. So it just shows you how quickly changing your diet can affect your recovery. So I want to kind of summarize yesterday and how I think it went with no carbs. But before I do that, this is just basically a box of vitamins. I'm not going to go through them all now, but if you want to know what I take of an evening and morning, head over to my Instagram after this video. There's a highlight that says ESN, and I think I've posted in there plenty of times the vitamins that I take every morning and evening. It basically helps with recovery, performance, and everything like that. So, summarizing yesterday. Now, I don't really feel like the lack of carbs affected my energy systems because I felt fine. I didn't feel tired, I didn't feel fatigue. The workouts went okay. Maybe I could have pushed a bit harder if I had a quicker source of energy in me like carbs. But I know that if I had taken this diet on for an entire week, there's no way that I would be able to hit zones 4 and 5 and maintain it in threshold zone, because when you get to zones 4 and 5, this is when your body switches to carbohydrates and it needs it to get through those threshold sessions and to push through. If you haven't got any glycogen stored in your muscles or in your system, your body is not going to perform at its best and you probably can't maintain yourself in a high heart rate. So that's that. In terms of recovery, clearly my body didn't recover very well during the night, hence the cramps. If my body was fine, I wouldn't have gone into cramping. So today I didn't actually train, I had a rest day, and I never rest on a Thursday, but I had a lot of things on, and I also just wanted to have some electrolytes, try and replenish, get the salts, potassium, sodium back into my system. And hunger was fine. I mean, I ate 3,800 calories. I think fats are slower digesting, so I didn't really feel hungry throughout the day. However, when I woke up this morning, I was starving. So you normally go into ketosis in the morning when you're on a keto diet and you just burn fat continuously. And I just felt empty. But the first thing I had when I got up was eggs on toast with avocado, basic, and then a big bowl of oats with nuts and everything like that. Even though I wasn't training, I needed some oats in me. So I just basically say to you, never ever remove a macro from your diet. Carbs, protein, fats, they all serve a purpose. Recovery, growth, performance, they are very important. I did this to see what effect it would have on me. Clearly it had to, and I just don't recommend it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe and comment. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye guys.